Hello and welcome to YQ Academy tutorials. My name is Priyanka and topic for today's discussion is arguments in JavaScript. Arguments is an object that is accessible inside function and that contains the values of the arguments passed to that function. Let's take an example. So let me define a function. So I'm using function keyword and I'm taking function name as let's suppose num. Now let's give a few parameters. So I'm taking a, b, and C as parameters. Now let's define the body of the function. So I'm writing console.log and then let's write. So here we access elements using indexes, index 0, index 1 and index 2. Now let's call this function. And here let's give the values or arguments to these parameters. So let me give the values as 1, 20 and let's suppose 40. Now to see the output I have to write node and then the file name that is arguments.js, and on clicking the enter button we can see the output as this. So we access elements using indexes. Arguments object in JavaScript has length property that contains the number of arguments passed to the function. Let me give you an example. So let's delete this. Let's write arguments dot the property that is length. And now let's see the output. We'll get 3 as output since the length is 3. Let me give you another example. So here let's write 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 and let's say 600. Now let's see the output. So here length is 6. So we get 6 as output using this length property. We can also update the value of arguments. Let's see how. First let me delete this. Now let's write. This is to show you the original output. So we can see the output as 120 and 40. Now let's try to update the values of the arguments. So for that, let me write argument at index 0 and I updated this value as let's suppose 1 is the original value. Let me update it to 200. Let's update the argument at index 1 as let's suppose 400. Now let's see the updated values. In the terminal window, let's write node argument.js and on clicking the enter button, we can see the updated argument values. So this is arguments in JavaScript. Let's write a program to find the sum of parameters passed to a function using the arguments object. Let me delete this. Let's use the keyword function. I'm giving function name as let's suppose sum. Now let's define the body of the function. We have to find the sum of the parameters passed to a function. Okay, so for that let me use the keyword var and let's suppose I'm taking variable num and I'm initializing this num with 0. Now let's use for. So this is initialization part, this is the condition part and this is the updation. And in the body of for loop, let's return this num. And now let's give the values. And to see the output, let's write the variable that is result. Now let's see the output. So we have used argument object to find the sum of parameters passed to a function. So these are the parameters. We passed it to the parameters and we have used the argument object to find the sum.